everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Opeyemi and this is a continuation of the program 14 Days, 14 Women. Have you watched the other episode? How far are you enjoying it? Please drop your comments in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. What lessons have you learned and how has things been going concerning this episode? Let's talk. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about something very interesting and I have an amazing personality with me today. Thank you so much for coming today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Please introduce yourself to the audience.
So my name is Esther Okoro. I
have not changed your name. Okay.
So my name is Esther Okoro. I am a specialty doctor in psychiatry. I work with the Cumbria Northumberland NHS Foundation Trust.
Yeah, she's a doctor, so it's a privilege to be with a doctor today. Thank you so much for coming. And today we're talking about this very important topic, and it is fighting imposter syndrome, especially when you're winning. This is something that a lot of people, not even ladies alone, but mostly women, can relate to it, because especially when you're in that position, like that leadership position, they begin to have difficulty with owning your own victory and all those things. So firstly, we'll start with your personal experience. Because let's just have your personal experience. So tell us, has there been any time in your life where you were in this kind of situation?
Absolutely, yes, there have been. Well, let's say I'm still in the midst of that situation.
Wow.
I happen to have started a new role in the past 2 months, and it was an upgrade to my previous role. And I started in a new hospital with new people I was working with at the same time, a higher role, and I struggled for the first week. I was so stressed out by, oh my god, they'll realize I don't know what I'm doing. I had struggled with a lot of anxiety, self-doubt and apprehension in general in the job. So yes, that's been one experience. I feel like the term imposter syndrome became quite real for me in that moment, struggling with my transition.
Okay, so if I ask the question, how did you overcome this? I don't want you to give all the tips yet. But can you give us one of those tips? So what did you do? What are you doing currently?
Okay, so the first one is I had to own my feelings and realize that yes, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel quite anxious, and this is how I feel. And I spoke to colleagues about it, like people who were on the same level or people who were a bit more senior to myself, and their validation of yes, I felt this way when I started, but it gets better. I think that validation and reassurance has been quite helpful. We'll probably talk about a bit more helpful things as we go.
Yeah, more reason for our audience to stay tuned to the channel. I don't want them to go anywhere yet. Can you discuss the general impact that this imposter syndrome has on women's confidence, their self-esteem, especially in male-dominated field? I think your field is quite male-dominated.
Well,
not really, kind of.
Not the most male-dominated. I mean, it could be a bit more male-dominated. I think it's as you rise through the rank, I get the sense that there are a lot more males. So as females, you might probably struggle a bit. So about impact that this can have on women's confidence. So I'll start by wanting to clarify that imposter syndrome is that sense of self-doubt of your intellect and yourself and your abilities that you have, that is found in high-achieving individuals. So people are making progress, but they are struggling to internalize their success, and they just have the pervasive feeling of anxiety and feeling incompetent. How can this impact on one's self-esteem? I think you struggle with low self-esteem. You're going to find yourself avoiding opportunities just because you feel like you're not good enough to be able to take such opportunities. You keep procrastinating tasks because you feel like it's perfection that is expected of you. You find yourself playing down your achievement and sometimes overworking to compensate and ending up burnt out. So in the long run, you suffer quite negatively from the effect of struggling with internalizing your successes.
Success. Yes, I can actually relate to that the way, because most times when we are getting into that higher rank, you just begin to tell yourself maybe it's by luck, and it's not really your effort, maybe it's just working out. I remember there was a time I was in school and there was a particular course I was aiming for A, but I got B. So for other courses, I've been getting A. Meanwhile, this A, they're like 71, 72.
Yeah.
So I was not talking to a lecturer. I was like, I think those ones were just luck. I think it's just by chance. He said, no, you're actually intelligent. I said, I'm not sure. Because if I'm intelligent, I should have made it all true. Do you get? So imposter syndrome makes you feel like it's really not you. Like,
that's right.
Not downplaying, and it reduces self-confidence.
Yes, it would affect you.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so to the next question. How then do you differentiate between genuine humility and imposter syndrome? And the next, okay, let me ask this first before I move on to the second one. So how can you differentiate between that?
I think the thing with humility is that humility is stemming from an accurate assessment of the situation, of your capabilities. So you're looking at yourself and you recognize how much you're able to do. I can do this much and I can't do this much.
Okay.
So you're accurately assessing the situation. Meanwhile, in imposter syndrome, you are not accurately assessing the situation. You're downplaying your efforts. You're downplaying your accomplishments, and you're not looking at it accurately. You're struggling to accept the accomplishments that you've gained, you've made. So humility, yes, you might have a posture of lowliness as you accept what you have made, recognizing how much more you still need to do, but you recognize and accept. But that's not the case in imposter syndrome.
That's true. So it's different from saying it's by God's grace. There's some situation like you get a place and they say, okay, I know that you have to acknowledge God. Sorry, I'm rambling. I know you have to acknowledge God first in everything, but I think there is a difference between saying, oh, it's God's grace, and a difference between you actually work hard to get to it. It's not like you're proud, but
I mean, I think for there are people who, with their faith in God, hold the value of what God has done for them and the role He's played in their success quite highly. And I guess it's individual basis, being sure that are you really acknowledging the effort you think that has come from God? Because we, as Christians, you might have the belief that God blesses every one of your effort, but it does not mean that you didn't work hard. You worked hard and then He blessed your effort, and it's okay to give the glory to God as long as you're not downplaying how much effort you did put in.
That is the part I actually want us to bring out here now, because as believers, as Christians, I want you to understand that acknowledging God's grace is different from now downplaying your own efforts or own role, because especially for my audience that are going for interviews and all, you have to learn to sell yourself. You have to blow your own trumpet yourself. And this is very, very important. Now, moving to the next question under this one is, how can women generally learn how to acknowledge their accomplishments without feeling like a fraud in that sense?
How do you acknowledge your
it does not feel like you are actually overdoing it, or it's not actually as big as that. You're not as big as you're painting yourself.
To be. I think it starts with self-awareness. Self-awareness about your feeling. These feelings of feeling like a fraud, be aware of that, and as you're aware of that feeling, that's one step in the right direction. The next one is assessing your abilities. What can I do? I can do this, and objectively put it down on paper. What are the assessments for your job? What are the job specification for somebody at this level? You're expected to be able to do this. You're expected to be able to do that. How much can you do? And when you've looked at how much you can do, it's important to help others. When you focus on others, help other people that are struggling with that current imposter syndrome, or struggling to be able to objectively evaluate their own work and achievement. It kind of gives you some sort of encouragement. And take baby steps, And for days where I feel like, oh my God, I'm really terrible at this, I remind myself I've just read 100 pages of the guideline that I need for this job. I'm making the effort, and that helps me challenge my own feelings of incompetence.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I love your step-by-step process. I think I'm going to apply it to my new job. Okay, thank you so much. So now I know we've been talking about things similar to this question, but I'd still like to ask that, are there mindset shifts or affirmations that women need to adopt to challenge the negative self-talk?
Mindset or affirmations and mindset shifts. For affirmations, I'm sure that there are a lot of affirmations out there that tell us about who we are and we speak positively to ourselves. But I'll say that for mind shift, what we need to do is be objective.
Okay.
It starts with the objectivity in recognizing your feelings, recognize they are valid, but move on to the next step, assessing yourself. Assess yourself, what I can do. Ignore the temptation to compare yourself with others. I find that social media is one place that amplifies people's strength and magnifies your own weaknesses. And sometimes it's okay to realize that it's time to take a break, take a step back. You know, everyone is on LinkedIn and talking about their new wins and their latest accomplishments, and your feeling of incompetence is amplified. Just do take a break if you need that. So it's that mindset shift in recognizing that this is who I am. Keep records of your accomplishment, those compliments you got at work, those thank you notes, those positive emails that you got, you know, appreciating your work. Sometimes you have to keep it. I say it's a wall that I put down things that are good things to be able to challenge negative feelings when they come.
Wow, that's great. Wow, so that means, wait, did you say you put something on the wall?
Oh yeah, so it's more like the cards that I've gotten over time, or thank you notes. I just print out, someone send it to me, I print out a little bit of it, and for times when I'm feeling really down, I go through them again one after the other. And those positive statements, I know they didn't come from me, they came from somebody else. So irrespective of how I feel at the minute, someone has interacted with me and had this impression of my, you know, interaction with them. So definitely, if I don't believe myself, I could believe them in those moments.
Wow, that's great. Okay, I was never thinking about that, but I've done something similar to that. Okay, so most times when during my birthdays, you know, people write things about you.
It's true.
So aside the caring, loving, I just do some screenshots of like, you know, so people write dig things. So I do screenshots and I give them somewhere. So I go back there and I be like, okay, but you're still making impact. You're still doing good in this life. You're still blessing life, and that alone actually help, especially during the negative talks. And I also want to talk about this LinkedIn thing, that it can be very intimidating when you get to LinkedIn and you see a lot of posts and you feel like maybe you're not as good as those people, or what you are even doing, you are not good. It's just luck or something. Please, no. Everybody out there just trying to paint themselves, or is it paint themselves? I don't know if what is paint.
I mean,
just trying to
present the best version of themselves.
So you don't have to feel intimidated whatsoever. I can take a break, because I did once. I took a break at the time, like, no, you cannot oppress me. Okay, so moving on to the next one is are there roles that probably mentors or role models, support network can take in helping people in this?
Absolutely. There is nothing as powerful as being told how you feel is absolutely normal. You should feel this way because you just started. If you don't feel this way, maybe you should be worried then, and it gets better. And I found the roles of mentors and role models very important. I've had to rely on them through phases of changes and questioning myself, and I think it's the strength. I get some strength from them, you know. As soon as I started my new job, within the first week, I just found a number of a senior colleague who I didn't even know, and I was like, hi, do you want to speak to me for a bit, because I feel I'm a bit lost, you might be willing to help me? And she was like, sure, give me a call. And I spoke to her for 1 hour. And in that 1 hour, she was like, it's perfect, it's okay to feel the way you feel. Take advantage of the fact that you're new and just put your head down. You learn as you go. And I feel like her instructive words have kept me going, and they've increase my confidence. And some people say fake it until you make it. You're not quite faking it because it's who you are, but portray a confident part of yourself. I'll just say one more thing. It's okay to talk about your feelings. Talk about it in a safe space, because you still want to portray an image of competence. You want people to be confident that you are capable and that you believe in your capability. Sometimes you fall into danger of speaking to the wrong people. And that's the first version of you that they've met. Is an anxious, a picture of an incompetent person. So it's also being able to share your feelings in a safe space.
So our audience, you can hear that. I never have to repeat that because I'm also getting that myself. I'm learning that. The final phase now is, what advice would you give every one of us? I know you've been advising us in the morning. But for someone that is struggling with imposter syndrome here now, someone that is struggling to loud his or her trumpet, or you are not sure of yourself, you're not sure of your ability, how do you advise a person, especially when they're experiencing success, and how can they build self-resilience?
Self-resilience. I think there's multiple parts to that question, but I'll just first say that I'm not advising you. We're all going through it together. And first of all, just know you're not alone. So we're all dealing with this together. First, I would say own your feelings. I feel this way. If it's just a feeling, I recognize it as for what it is, a feeling, and recognize the thoughts that you're having, the thoughts of incompetence that you're having. The next step is challenge those thoughts. Draw a table for and against. What are the points for and against? Let's say, for example, I'm starting this new job. I feel like a fraud. What are the points for that? What supports the fact that I am a fraud? Well, I feel like that. There are some things I need to know that I don't know. And then what are the points against? Why should I not feel like a fraud? I passed so and so exams to be able to get to this point. I applied for this job through a rigorous process and I was selected. They must have seen something in me. I've showed up on the job. I'm able to do this. I still have so and so more to learn. I have the capability to learn. I am a keen learner or an enthusiastic learner. And you see, you have your point against just start to get
I feel like
longer and longer. And it builds your confidence. You know, hold your head up high. It's very common for imposter syndrome to be noticed it's more in women and people from minority backgrounds. So hold your head up high and tell yourself you deserve a seat at the table. And claim that seat.
Well, thank you so much for that. Wow, that's very good. That's very, 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 very good. So I hope you guys have learned a lot in this very brief, concise, and filled with insights discussion. Thank you so much for joining, but we are not done yet. No, we are not done yet. So we're moving on to the gaming section now.
Okay,
I know you're not saying that one.
No. I'm caught completely unawares.
So you pick a question from number 1 to 5, and then you answer.
Let me pick numbers 1 to 5. Did you say number 3?
Oh, what is number 3 question? I'm not going to ask you this number 3 question because we've gone out before. How should I ask you? I'm going to ask you number 3 and I will add one more question to it. Okay, so number 3 question is, if there's any place you'd like to travel to in the world. I know you love going to places. Look at our pictures on the screen. She loves going to places. So where would it be?
I think at the minute top of my list is Bali in Thailand.
Wow.
I've seen gorgeous pictures of Bali and I hope one day I'll get there. I'll travel there.
Hopefully one day. Alright, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you very much.
We are so blessed to have you. Thank you. Okay, so the final phase is now encourage our audience to like, share, watch, subscribe, and every other good things.
There are amazing content that Ope has lined up, and I think it would be great if you subscribe. That way you get notifications, and if you like more audience, more people come watch. It attracts more followers.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining today, and I'll see you again in our next episode. Bye.